Hi, I'm Laura Templeton, Chief Instigator and Brand Communications Consultant at 30 Second Success. I'm a professional speaker, author of the book 30 Second Success, Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting, and a chapter president for Virtual Networkers, an organization of heart-centered entrepreneurial women who love to support one another in life and business.
And I'm Suzanne Tregenza Moore, business and marketing coach at SuzanneTMoore.com, host of the All Things Authorpreneur podcast, author of Hang On Tight, Learn to Love the Roller Coaster of Entrepreneurship, and a longtime member of Virtual Networkers. Laura and I met through Virtual Networkers, which is an all-women's networking group. And many of our members have become authors in the time we've been connecting there. And when we saw a book giveaway done by some others, we decided we had to do the same thing to highlight our Virtual Networkers sisters. So we're giving away a bunch of book bundles in two categories. One is self-help or personal growth, and the other is business and entrepreneurship. To be eligible to win the bundle, all you have to do is go to decembergiveaway.com and enter your information there before the end of the day on December 12th. And everyone who enters will be eligible for the free gifts that each author will be sharing about. It's a win-win for everybody. And now you get to meet one of our authors.
So I'm going to share a little bit about Mary Beth Decker, the author of Peace in Passing, Comfort for Loving Humans During Animal Transition. And this is Mary Beth's second edition. And we're going to talk about that in a moment, but I'm going to read her bio quickly so you get to know her a little bit better. Mary Beth Decker is a retired naval officer, and she found her calling as an animal communicator after becoming a Reiki master and when her Siberian Husky Mitsubishi cursed her out as she tried using energy healing on him. He probably thought that the language was okay because her time in the Navy, think swearing like a sailor, and that got her attention. Back then, Mary Beth didn't know animal communication was a career option, but she loves sharing animals' thoughts and feelings and watching healing happen. As a bonus, she's delighted in how open-hearted her human clients were, even when incredibly upset because we're worried about their animals. Peace in Passing is her first book, but this is the second edition. So welcome, Mary Beth. Thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about who your book is written for.
Okay, so this book is written for those of us, those of us who love our animals dearly. One of my jokes about who my clients are people who love their animals as much as or more than the people in their lives. I hope I said that right. Okay, all right. So, and I know, we identify sheepishly, but we do identify with that. But this new edition is for folks who are starting to see a decline in their animals. And I rewrote this one because I noticed in reality, the grief starts when we start to lose that being that we love so much, all the things that they used to be able to do and think and eat. And so I wanted to help people through the whole transition, not just that moment of them moving into the afterlife.
It's beautiful what you've written here. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and you know what, Mary Beth, I'd love for you to just share a couple of stories or maybe one story about an experience you've had with someone who you helped through that process. Because I know from being an animal lover and from having my own dog that passed away a few years ago, that anticipatory period of time is so difficult. So I'd love to hear maybe one of the stories from the book that kind of explains to people how you work with them.
Okay, what comes to mind is Joe, who was he was a horse, and he is in the book, and his person Sarah came to me, and Joe was looking pretty rough. He's acting pretty rough. And we heard, when we connected with him, I heard the equivalent of, I'm not dead yet. And yes. And that also, part of me is I'm a Monty Python lover, and there's a scene where I'm not going to recount it, but that's what I was thinking of. But in a more positive way, what he was telling Sarah is, stop being in the grief of not being dead. I'm not there yet. And so we I kind of helped Sarah get over that. Not that we lose the grief, but you're more focused in the moment of, oh yeah. And we helped him with some energy healing, so he kind of picked things up. And he started enjoying acting like he was doing things that he enjoyed again, because his going downhill and then her grief added on top of that made him kind of think that, oh, this is the way I should be. And when we pulled that away, the guy had I think a few more months, but a lot more fun. They had a lot more fun together.
Yeah. So you really help the animal and the person.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually the way it is. There has to be a little bit of adjustment on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That adjustment. I love that you talk about Monty Python. So I totally know where you're going with that one. And having it had a horse, I can totally relate to that. So I love the fact that the stories that you share, so many of us can relate to them. I do have a question on a personal note. So for someone like me who has a dog that's aging and I'm starting to worry, what kind of advice, what are the things that you help people understand, or what does your book help them understand what to look for?
Oh, well, one of the things my book gives you is beyond good medical advice. And I'm not saying throw out your veterinarian, but to look for alternate modalities that might help. And I'm somebody who actually used a lot of them. I used acupuncture for my dogs and one of my cats to help them, keep moving, keep walking. And how important is that to your dog's happiness and being thrilled to be alive, right? I mean, I saw immediately difference. So there was that. Talk about all different kinds of modalities that you might want to look into and see if they fit with you. I also used traditional Chinese medicine, herbs, to help my little dog Stella stay her stellar self while she was around. She was quite something. So I went through so many different modalities that you can try and see what works for you. As to say, don't how do I say, don't give up. Take a look around and see what else that might be out there to help you.
I love that suggestion, because a lot of times the alternative to medicine, sometimes I feel a lot of the doctors nowadays are so quick to just give you a pill, and having the different modalities that actually give them a longer lifespan or more comfortable lifespan is really important. So thank you for that suggestion.
Yeah. I'm going to jump in and say one more thing. The other thing that I really learned, and I have learned it lately. It's like this book was preparing me to practice what I preached, because I just lost 2 of my dogs and 1 of my cats in the last month. But what is really important, okay. But what I learned that was in the book that was really important was we shift ourselves. We don't stay stuck in what used to work. We figure out another way to adjust our life and living to what works for them. And if you keep doing that, yeah, okay, all right. So
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
that's
like
beautiful.
when we have babies, right? We have to
Exactly.
shift everything to work around the baby, and then when we have aging parents or aging pets or whatever, we shift everything to work for them, but you can still make it all work because you can. You can.
You
Yeah.
can, yeah, and it's, you know, that's what I've learned is you get stuck and you say, okay, so what's not working? What else can we do? And up until the very end, there's usually something.
That's beautiful.
And
Now,
Mary Beth, we've shared with everyone that we have a free gift from all the authors. And I know that you are offering The Path to Peace, Navigating the Last Leg of Your Beloved Animal's Life. And I was wondering if you just wanted to share a little bit about what someone will get when they choose to download that.
Well, it's a very short, because there's our attention span sometimes slows or gets quite difficult. But it talks about some of the things in the book that I have also found most useful for myself. And what I think it does is it opens you up to the fact that it's not the end. And I think it just came to me, but I think it makes it easier to read the book even before your animal has passed. It's like, oh, okay, this is good stuff. I think I'll see what else she's got. So the reason I say that is sometimes you pick up the book and you go, oh my, I don't know if I can do this. But you start with that short video, and then you can delve into the book.
Great.
well, thank you so much, Mary Beth. I appreciate you sharing with us, and I love your perspective on communicating with our animals. I keep saying my dog's a mind reader, and obviously he is. There's something to that. So, my last question for you is, how did virtual networkers help you get your book out to the world?
Oh my goodness. Well, I had so many people who shared my book when it went out. They went and told their folks about my book. They shared it on social media. They bought a book. They shared it. I had advanced readers. I've got some incredibly beautiful reviews in my book. I don't think I would have made best-selling status without the support of the folks in virtual networks workers, to tell you the truth.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Mary Beth, thank you so much for that. It's been such a joy to journey with you with getting this book out there. And yes, it speaks to so many hearts. So thank you for putting your heart into your book.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Suzanne.
Absolutely. And remember, if you are watching this and you want the opportunity to win Mary Beth's book, along with several others, you've got to enter the Bonanza at decemberbonanza.com before the end of the day on December 12th.